Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video, we are going to be doing a cat's eye gel polish ombre with some stamping over the top. So I really hope you all enjoy watching. Now starting off, I'm going to be using the beautiful RB27. This is one of the newer rubber color bases from the Kiki London range, and I absolutely love the gold shimmers in this. They have a similar one, which is a milky white base, and I've been using that a little bit more, and then I thought I've left this one out, so I had to get this one in a set. Now originally this design was inspired by a design I did on last week's video over on the Kiki London channel. So if you're not already subscribed to the Kiki London YouTube channel, I would highly recommend checking that out. I upload gel polish or gel nail tutorials there every single Friday. But yeah, last week's design I did a cat's eye ombre, which was like a milky white and gold, and I really wanted to try and do something similar but with a bit more of a pinky autumnal feel. So I've done 2 coats of this beautiful shade, curing each coat for 30 seconds. Now I love the rubber color bases when I'm wearing them on my own nails, as they have the most amazing strengthening properties. They've really helped my natural nails, but the colors just make absolute beautiful bases for nail art. So speaking of nail art, we're going to start moving on to our design, and I'm going to be using the gorgeous champagne silk from their cat's eye gel polish range. And this is super easy to blend or ombre in to your rubber color base, because the rubber bases leave behind quite a sticky inhibition layer. So as you can see, I've applied the champagne silk down at the tip of the nail, and then I'm taking my ombre brush and I'm just literally very gently blending this back into that tacky inhibition layer. I'm trying not to touch the champagne silk that we've popped down right at the tip of the nail, because I don't want to add too many brush strokes into the magnetic particles that are in the cat's eye gel polish. So I'm kind of just really gently feathering it back. Then we're going to take the magnet and start playing around with that cat's eye gel polish to create the cool magnetic effect. And I just really loved how this looked. It looked very similar to the design I done last week, but I just love the pinky tones in this one. I feel as though it gives a lot more of a late summer, early autumn vibe. So we're going to go ahead and do that on all of the nails. As you can see here with the Kiki London ombre brush, I'm just using the very tip, so those longer, more sparse bristles, rather than the denser ones that are up more towards the base of the brush. You really don't need to play around with this too much. It blends into that rubber base effortlessly. If you was doing this over a regular gel polish base, you might have to spend a little bit more time blending it in. Now I only also did 1 coat of the cat's eye gel polish. If you wanted the color to pop a little bit more, you could definitely do this in 2 coats. I just would only do the magnetic effect on the 2nd coat. Now I quickly wanted to mention it has been a little while since I've uploaded a YouTube video here. It was the summer holidays here in the UK, so my girls were off school. So when I wasn't working, I was just trying to spend as much time as I could with them. And then right when I was planning on getting back into creating some content for my own YouTube channel, my little dog got poorly. He's currently quite unwell with suspected pneumonia, and it's really taken it out of him. He's had to have a couple of scans, and we're just waiting for some results on some other tests. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to sit down and really enjoy creating content for my own channel. Over on the Kiki London channel, I have a little bit more of a plan, so it's a little bit easier to just get into doing videos there. Here is obviously it's just my own channel. I can create whatever I want to create, kind of thing. And I've just lacked inspiration where life's either been busy or there's just been a lot going on. But because I really enjoyed last week's set, that was what pushed me to come in and redo the design, but change it up a little bit, so it's kind of like the same a bit different. But yeah, that's just a little life update there. Do let me know in the comments below how you are all doing. So as I mentioned at the start of this video, I wanted to come in and do some stamping over the top. On the design I did over on the Kiki channel, I did isolated chrome over the top, but I really wanted this to have an autumnal floral feel. So we're going to go in with one of my OG favorite plates. This is from Clear Jelly Stamper. I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, called, but I'll leave it listed in the description box below. I have used this plate so many times on my channel. It's kind of like a comfort zone plate because I really love the images on there, and I know that they stamp beautifully as well. So on this first nail, I simply wanted some gold greenery, some gold leaves kind of thing. I wanted two of the nails to be quite simple and then add a little bit of color on the other two nails. So on this nail, we're just going to simply stamp down a gold leaf, and it does look quite subtle, but that's what I wanted for these two nails. You'll see on the next two nails, or the two nails that I've done the coloured stamping on, it pops a little bit more, but I quite liked how soft the gold looked against all those shimmery gold backgrounds. Of course, if you wanted this to pop a little bit more, I would recommend doing it maybe with a white or even a brown stamping polish could work quite nicely. I think a black would look a little bit too harsh for the design. But anyway, let's talk stamping. So I always like to go in and clean my plate with some acetone, remove any dried on stamping polish, and I then will dry it if it feels quite damp, because otherwise the acetone is going to affect your stamping polish. I'm using the Born Pretty stamping polishes today, so as you can see, I've applied a generous amount of stamping polish, scraped the excess. I try to pick a side and always scrape to that side. Usually it's towards me, but there I did do it to the right. And then the stamper I'm using today is just a cheap one that I picked up from AliExpress. I do believe you'll see it in a haul a few videos back. I've not actually got to use this too often, but I've used it a couple of times and it's working brilliant, especially for the price. So on to the two nails that I wanted to add a little bit of colour. I quickly wanted to show you before I went in the stamped that if I'm changing colour, so here we've gone from gold to this pinkish burgundy colour, I will clean off my scraper as well, because we don't want to be adding any of that gold stamping polish into our pink design. So then again, we're going to do one of the florals here. Now these are layered images, but I'm just using the outline in today's video just because I wanted to keep this quite subtle. I didn't want to cover up the ombre that we'd created by placing down a background for the flower, if that makes sense. But this plate does look beautiful when you use it layered, like how it's supposed to be. But in the center of this now, I'm gonna stamp down in this cute, kind of like a wild looking flower. I feel as though it looks a little bit more wild where we're just placing down the outline, and I feel as though it looks quite like a flower that's fully in bloom, maybe starting to die off a little bit, which matched the autumn look I felt. So now I'm going to go in and clean my plate off again, making sure to give it a good clean with that acetone, and then like I said, if needed, you can give it a dry or a rub with some kitchen paper just to make sure it's super clean. If you have any dried on stamping polish there, then it's going to affect the pickup of your next image. And then again, like I said, if you've got too much acetone on your plate, it will water down your stamping polish and then it won't look as pigmented. Now with these Born Pretty stamping polishes, I find a lot of them are quite pigmented. I've had these coloured ones I think since last autumn or the autumn before, and they are lasting really well. I love how much the colours pop, and then for the price you just really can't complain. So here we've stamped on all of our flowers and leaves. I did decide here at this point just to add a pop of green. So rather than using the outlines of the images, I used the solid image, and I'm just going to go in with like an olive green shade just because I felt as though it looked a little bit too basic just having that one image down. So we're just going to stamp a really small image here, but again, I'm going to go through those steps of cleaning off my scraper using a paper towel and some acetone. I always clean my stamper using a lint roller. I don't ever clean it with any products. I had a few comments on an older video recently saying that they'd use acetone to clean their stamper, and now it wasn't picking up very well. I never use anything acetone or alcohol on my stamper. I just simply use the lint roller, and I've never had any problems with it. So I would suggest avoiding putting anything liquidy on the stamper if I was you. So we're going to stamp down the little leaf, and I just wanted it just off coming from the flower. It didn't match up perfectly, but I quite liked how it added that pop of colour, made it look a little bit whimsical. I really love these olive toned greens for early autumn as well. And then I decided to do the same on the other flower, just so the set all tied together. And this was a super easy design to do. I have missed doing stamping. I really love stamping. It's one of my favorite nail art techniques, and I don't feel as though I've done as much of it this year as what I would have liked. I've got my eye on a couple of new stamping plates, so I feel as though maybe I should order them because it'll give me a push to create some more content. Now, of course, once you have finished all of your nail art design, you want to seal in with a gel top coat. I'm using the crystal top coat here from Kiki London. This leaves a beautiful shine to the nail, but one of the things I really love about this top coat is when you're doing a lot of layered stamping, or you've got a nail that's got a lot of stamping on it, this top coat doesn't separate over the stamping. I don't know if you would have noticed it when using certain top coats over a large surface of stamping. Sometimes the top coat can pit and separate, and you have to kind of like float the top coat on and then quickly get it into cure. I don't have any issues with this top coat for that, and the same with the Kiki London's top coat that does require you to wipe off the tacky layer as well. So if you're looking for a good top coat for stamping, I would recommend checking those out. Anyway, that takes us to the end of this short and sweet design. I really hope you all enjoyed watching. Do let me know in the comments below what you thought of this look, if it is something you would wear yourself. If you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up and hit that subscription button if you haven't already, and I shall see you all again in the next video. Much love. Bye bye.